Grant Carr, we need you and your calf outside the show ring. Grant Carr, please come to the show ring for the premier exhibitor.
Okay, so they need.
Well, a nice drive of our intermediate showmen, a smaller division than what we saw in our seniors, and it sounds like smaller than what we'll see in our juniors. But I still think that there's some quality out here as far as these kids go. I think they're very good at making sure that we cover some of the fundamentals of just getting a look out of those calves and getting our feet placed correctly. I think there's a couple individuals that actually bring up a fairly good example of style and preference. For me, you'll have kids that come out with a big smile, or you'll have kids that are very intense. And to me, it doesn't really matter as much as long as we're doing all the fundamental things right and getting the best look out of our calves. And then we can start getting down to the nitpicky things. So for me, we're probably going to see opposite ends of the spectrum as I go and select your champion and reserve. But very, very impressive group of kids here. So let's give them a big hand.
You're 20. You want to know who the first year, first class. And then.
Our champion senior or intermediate showman is Claire Cook, and she'll be presented a belt buckle donated by Shelby Vet Clinic and a show stick donated by Tom and Sue Training. And I see on my sheet rope holders were donated by Tom and Sue Training. Is that still correct, Tom? Junior. For junior? Oh, that's for juniors only, not intermediate. I'm reading off the wrong. Turn it around. Okay. Yes, and the reserve is James Vandervander. And Claire received a belt buckle donated by Dan and Denise Ryan, and a show stick donated by Tom and Sue Trady. Now we'll have Grant Carr come in. He is our exhibitor for the premier exhibitor. Now this was not just showing a calf, showing up at the fair, showing a calf. They had to go to the extension office and have an interview, and they did a skill-a-thon, and then they wrote a 2-page papers with support material. And so it was more than just showing the calf, and just because he's the only one doesn't mean that he just wins by default. He had to score a certain amount of points to win this. So Grant is our premier exhibitor, but we'll make him do a little work first to earn it.
Right here, Mom. Kathy. Yeah, who has it?
Yeah, Grant receives a bucket of goodies, and then tomorrow afternoon, he'll need to come back to the show ring, and they'll pick out of the senior, intermediate, junior, the overall champion that wins the $250. Congratulations, Grant. The bucket of goodies was donated by the Pot County Cattlemen. Now we have our first class of juniors coming into the show ring. There's a lot of them on the sheet, so I'm not sure if they'll all show up, but we'll have 3 or 4 classes of these. Monday will be the livestock sale, so any 4-H'er that wishes to sell an animal, they must sign up for the sale by 5 p.m. today, no exceptions. And if there's, like, they'll put out the sale bill, and if you see it and there's changes to be made, they must be made by 9 a.m. on Sunday. But no additions can be made by after 5 p.m. today. So if you have hogs, chickens, sheep, or cattle, they must be signed up today. So don't forget that, parents and grandparents, remind those kids. And then also, if you have cattle market beef, they must weigh 1040 to be on the sale. 1040 for sale or market animals. That weight on cattle is 1050, not 1040. Sorry.
Let's go down around top.
Well, these juniors do a nice job with these calves get big like this and kind of get a mind of their own. It can be intimidating, and what I'm impressed with on this heat is every single one of these junior showmen that have had kind of a rambunctious calf that tried to take off with them, they held on. Or they knew when to let go, which is always important, right? We don't have to hold on to the point where we're unsafe, but every single one of them took a deep breath and grabbed the halter again. So I think that's the most exciting part is when we have kids that don't give in to fear or frustration and they stick with it. So let's give all of our juniors out here a big hand.
Okay, our two that will come back in for the last set is Cameron Cook and Charlie Brummett. They received purples, and blues went to Keaton Benson, Jack Handlos, Jada James, Allie Reese Forthman, and Shelby Forthman. Now we have our second group coming in.
I do too, and I think they were the thing. And then you're gonna come this way, we're gonna go for a walk. You're gonna circle around over here, and then go right along the back side of the house, right? Straight down to the guy in red. He'll lead the way. You can get it started. Go stronger.
act like their boss out here today. And so really giving credit to these kids because it's obvious that they are a little bit outpowered, but all of them stick with it and got a smile on their face, so appreciate that. I'm going to bring back these two calves and showmen to come back for our final drive. Hopefully they'll settle in just a little bit better. They've got swooped a little bit out here, but I think that these two kids did the best job of just getting those feet set up and being the most efficient and consistent showmen. So let's give them all a big hand.
Girls in that class went to Cameron Cook and Keegan Cook, or no, sorry, Keegan Cook and Riley Hemmingson. And they'll come back for the last drive. Who's in that class went to Hayden Osmore, Ethan Chambers, Peyton Leaders, Mason Ship, Isabel Northman, and Melena Northman. Now we have class 3 coming into the ring, or not class 3, but our third group of junior showmen into the ring. All junior showmen are receiving a rope holder donated by Tom and Sue Trady. And our first runner-up queen candidate, our queen port person, is Pearl Huddle, and she is helping hand out those rope holders. We also have Stella Humphreys, who is Miss Congeniality, and Sarah Hudgel, second runner-up, is helping us hand out ribbons. Thank you, girls. First year showman, we need you to line up outside the show ring. First year showman, line up outside the show ring, please.
They're in the door. And I'm pretty sure that money that was in that lost and found envelope is my sister's. I'm pretty. She said, "Well, that's exactly what we went to the bathroom." And she said, "I just want you to be like me."
Impressive feat of junior showmen out here. I'm gonna keep these two young men back for our final drive. But I think probably of our junior showmanship that we've seen thus far, this has been a really just kind of consistent, calm heat. Individuals that really do a nice job of working with those animals. Just comes down to some foot placement for me and just efficiency that we see with these two young men. So let's give these individuals a big hand.
Heidi.
Austin Moss and Maverick Cal will come back for the final drive, and they will receive a purple. Blues in that class went to Kaisa Helby. Benjamin Moss, Jacob Pollock, Paige Putnam, Hudson Ross, and Ella Forthman. Now we have class 4, or group 4 coming in to the show ring. first year showman, we need you outside the show ring. First year showman outside the show ring.
He said, don't worry about it.
We had some calves out here that maybe weren't wanting to cooperate with these individuals, but they did a nice job of sticking with it and maintaining their composure. I think one lesson for sure is we look through our showmanship. One thing that I look at is equipment and how we're utilizing that equipment. So biggest thing that we can do is make sure we get these show halters on them and practice with them at home. Because if we try to get them on them at the show, sometimes they don't take to that change too easy. And then just making sure that those halters aren't too long, especially for these younger kids that are a little bit smaller. If those halters are too long and dragging, that's just a little bit more equipment that they have to try to figure out how to navigate. So I really encourage parents to utilize your resources, ask questions, and make sure that we're got the right equipment for the right kids and we're making them safe out here. So let's give all these individuals a big hand.
Our two that will come back in for the final drive are Quentin Holquist and Dalton Miller. Blues in that class went to Creed Buff. Landon Leaders, Harper Leaders, Lady Young, and Liz Young.
I have one somewhere. Mine's over there. I'm a big nose. I'll ask. Thank you.
We have a really nice junior drive out here, and quite honestly, probably my champion might be the best showman we've seen all day in terms of just understanding what that calf needs to look like. So efficient, just really natural in their ability to get them set up and get the best look. There's a lot of chaos, and this individual, I think, probably came out of one of the more chaotic, maybe heats that we had, and just the whole time offered just a really calm and level presence out here in the show ring. As we work through the showmanship, I think you'll see differences in just how we go about getting these calves set up. And the two individuals I'm going to use out here in the junior drive are one of the only ones that really just back those calves in, walk them into place, and get those legs set really efficiently. I think they're one of the two individuals, or they're two of the individuals that always know how to turn and lead their cattle. One of the biggest mistakes, and I was talking with some friends, I think it's human nature to just turn those calves towards you. And just remember, it's way easier to get them put in a line if you turn those cattle away from you. So that's one of the biggest things that I see in showmanship far too often. And when we get ourselves in a pickle, it's when we want to turn those calves into our bodies. So just making sure we turn those heads away from us, and don't be afraid to take a big circle when you're in the ring to make sure you get that calf put back in the line. So again, a really impressive junior division here. I'll go shake the hand of your champion and your reserve, but let's give them all a big hand.
champion junior showman is Dalton Miller, and our reserve is Maverick Cow. Our champion received a belt buckle donated by Shelby Vet Clinic and a show stick donated by Tom and Sue Dreedy. And now we'll have our premier exhibitor, junior beef showmanship class, and that is Creed Huff. You'll need to bring your cap back into the show ring, please. Again, this is for the premier exhibitor class. The kids went to the office. They had to do an interview with people at the extension office, and then also they did a skillathon and wrote a 2-page report with support material in it. And they were judged on that, given points, and then they'll give points for their showmanship class also, and then they'll be calculated together and then weighed. And you, just because he's the only one out here doesn't mean that he's automatically in. He has to earn so many points.
Get out of here. He can just get his award. I don't know where his parents are. Right here.
Our top premier exhibitor is Creed Huff, and he'll be presented a bucket of goodies donated by the Cobb County Cabinet.
We can do first year right now.
Now we'll have our first year showman come into the show ring. First year beef showman into the show ring.
Well, we've seen these showmen in their respective age groups here, and I think it's fun to see who is first year showmen. And most of them have smiles and they look like they're really enjoying themselves. So that's what's the most important part as we get out here in this division is sparking an interest and then maintaining an interest. So I think the biggest thing is just making sure that we have a positive impact on these individuals through their first year, and it really shows that they're enjoying themselves and their projects out here. So let's give our first year showman a big hand.
There's another heat right now. There's another heat, right? Yeah. Yes, 3 purple and 5 blue. Scott Cole dropped the ring. We walked to the second. Well, that's someone just dropped it. Yeah, whoever was just came out of first year. They, I don't know. They walked up that gate. I don't know who it was.
First call for second year bucket bottle heifers. First call, second year bucket bottle heifers outside the show ring. We need the second year bucket bottle heifers outside the show ring and also the produce market heifers outside the show ring, please. Second year bucket bottle, produce.
Well, again, another impressive feat of our first year showmen. I guess I can't encourage them enough to just stick with it and continue to learn and absorb as much knowledge as possible. And that really is reliant on our showmen that have some more experience. And we get into those older ages, I really encourage you guys that are sitting ringside to take these first year showmen under your wing and really try to work with them and get them to progress in this hobby, in this project. So let's give them all a big hand.
Out of that group, Max Harmon and Lily Open will come back in for the final drive. And blues in that group went to Jace Hayden, Quentin Holquist, Parker Leaders, and that's it. So now we'll have our pick our champion. Or no, we picked the five first year showmen. And they will we'll have a champion year showman and a reserve, and then the top five out of those will receive a cash award.
I think it's this one.
We need produce market heifers outside the show ring and also the lot one, class one of market heifers start coming over to the show ring. Class one market heifers over to the show ring.
exciting division. There's not very many county fairs where I go to that you evaluate the first year showmen, and I think it's just fun to watch the different levels of ages and maturity out here, and still seeing some differences when it comes to just understanding what these cattle need to look like. I think that we've got one individual that did a really nice job of actually, we get lucky every now and then that a calf from the very beginning knows it's going to be a show calf, but not very often does that happen without some work in between. So I think that there's a couple of kids out here that have just really shown that they've got a good partnership with their animal. They did the work at home and developed their ability to get out here and see some success. So I'm going to go shake the hand of your champion and then your reserve, but let's give our first year showman a really big hand.
Our champion first year market beef showman was Creed Huff, and our reserve, Billy Yoka. And also receiving, and those two will also receive a cash award, and that is donated by Bill and Annette Rocker, and rope haulers donated by Tom and Sue Trady. And then Max Harmon, Ben Moss, and Audrey Benson will also receive cash awards. Congratulations, kids. We have our second year bucket bottle heifers in the show ring now, and then the produce, we'll do the produce, and our first year class of market heifers need to be outside the show